At 3:17 a.m., your eyes snap open. No nightmare, no noise, just that feeling, like someone is standing in your room. You don't want to look, because the last time someone looked, according to thousands of reports, they didn't see a person. They saw a shadow shaped like a person. No face, no features, just a darker than dark silhouette, watching. And here's the shocking part. Many people who see shadow people aren't mentally ill. They're sober. They're functional. Some are even trained professionals, nurses, soldiers, pilots. So what are they seeing? A visitor from somewhere else? Or your brain turning fear into a living thing? People call the shadow people. Not ghosts, not demons, not aliens, just shapes. Most sightings follow the same pattern. It happens at night, usually during sleep or right after waking. You're half alert, half dreaming, and the figure appears at the edge of your vision. Or worse, standing over you. Reports come from everywhere. Apartment bedrooms, hospital night shifts, military barracks, lonely highways, and the figure behaves in one of three ways. 1, it watches. 2, it moves fast, like it glitches. 3, it vanishes the moment you fully focus. And that raises the question, if it's just imagination, why do so many people describe the same thing? Let me tell you a story that sounds fictional until you realize it's common. A woman, let's call her Megan, works late shifts. She gets home exhausted, collapses into bed, lights off, and around 3 a.m., she wakes up. Her eyes open, but her body doesn't move. She tries to lift her hand. Nothing. She tries to speak. Her mouth won't cooperate. Then she sees it, a tall shadow in the corner of her room, not standing like a normal person, more like it's assembled from darkness. It doesn't walk forward. It doesn't need to, because Megan feels something worse. The sensation of pressure on her chest. Her brain screams, "Predator." Not ghost, not mystery. Predator. The figure leans just slightly like it's studying her. And in that moment, her fear isn't emotional. It's physical. Heart racing, breath shallow, eyes burning because she refuses to blink. Then the shadow moves. Fast. Too fast. Not like a person crossing the room. Like a frame skip. Like reality stuttered. And the second Megan finally jerks her body awake, it's gone. No footprints. No sound. Just her pulse hammering like she ran for her life. In a room she never left. Now here's the darkest detail. A week later, she sees it again. And this time, it's closer. Okay, if we're being real, there's a reason this phenomena clusters around sleep. During certain stages of sleep, your brain disables your muscles, so you don't act out dreams. Sometimes you wake up before that paralysis turns off. So you're conscious, but trapped. Now here's the terrifying part. Your brain is still partly in dream mode, meaning it can project imagery into your real environment. Not like a cute daydream, like a survival horror overlay. So this shadow person, maybe your brain's fear system creating a threat shape, because it's scanning the room for danger while you can't move. Your brain is a pattern machine. It would rather be wrong than uncertain. So in low light, coats become bodies, curtains become faces, and corners become someone. If someone has chronic stress, anxiety, or trauma, their threat detection becomes overtuned. Their brain is basically running a permanent background app called "What's About to Hurt Me?" At night. When you're vulnerable, this system can spike, and the brain chooses the simplest, terrifying explanation: a figure. There's a border zone between sleeping and waking where vivid hallucinations can occur, and they can look completely real. Voices, footsteps, a presence, a silhouette. So, psychologically speaking, shadow people can be the brain misfiring in the most terrifying way possible by turning fear into a shape, which is comforting until you remember something. People report shadow figures touching them. or being seen by two people at once. And that's where the mystery refuses to die. So why does this still feel unsolved? Because there are parts that don't fit neatly into the psychology box. Why do so many people describe the same features? Tall, darker than the room, often wearing a hat or long coat, often watching, often appearing during a feeling of dread. Why do some people claim it happens when they're not in sleep paralysis? Why do some swear the figure moved objects or appeared in multiple places over multiple nights? And here's the creepiest question. If it's only a brain event, why does it feel like the shadow is reacting to you? Like it knows when you notice? Let's boost credibility for a second. This isn't a brand new internet trend. Experiences matching shadow people appear across cultures and history, often tied to night terror, sleep paralysis, and the sensation of a threatening presence. Modern sleep research also documents a very specific feature: the feeling of an intruder in the room during certain sleep state disruptions. People can be fully convinced they're awake, and their brains can generate a threat so vivid it feels external. So the evidence supports this. Shadow people are real experiences, even if the figure isn't physically real. And that distinction matters because it means you're not crazy. You're human with a brain that prioritizes survival over comfort. So what are shadow people? Maybe they're a glitch between sleep and wake. Your brain painting a predator into the darkness because it would rather scare you than miss a threat. Maybe they're the shape your mind gives to anxiety, trauma, and buried fear. A silhouette made from everything you refuse to face in daylight. Or maybe the brain explanation is true most of the time. And the reason this story won't die is because a small number of cases don't behave like hallucinations. Because some people don't just see a shadow. They feel watched before they open their eyes. Like the room changed first, and their brain noticed second. So tonight, if you wake up and sense a presence, ask yourself one question. Is it just your mind protecting you? Or is something in the dark learning how you react? Either way, don't look away too fast. If you want more stories where dark psychology and the paranormal collide, hit subscribe, because the scariest mysteries aren't always supernatural. Sometimes they're human.